I hate that there's great actors in this though, and it's trash. It looks trash. Like, it has freaking Trinity, it has the guy from Squid Games.
What are we even watching?
And like, it looks like garbage. Okay, let's do episode 1 and see if we read, okay? But at the Acolyte, not you. It'll be fun. Okay, let's do a fun read then. The Acolyte, episode 1, a stunning and brave disaster. The critical drinker.
Another chance to witness the horrific spectacle of Disney prodding and kicking the bloated corpse of Star Wars in the desperate hope that it'll let out a burst of flatulent gas which they can pretend is a sign of life. In this case, our latest desperate prod of the corpse is the Acolyte, possibly the most unanticipated and unwanted Lucasfilm project since Willow.
That was trash, Willow. I watched an episode of that and I was so sad. Because I like Willow the movie, but oh my god.
A spin-off from the disastrous High Republic books that nobody read, starring a bunch of characters nobody cares about, played by actors that nobody's heard of, and helmed by a woman that nobody seems to like. Really, what can I say about the Acolyte that would make you want to watch it?
This is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin.
Anyway, now that I've seen the first 2 episodes, I'm at least in some position to assess the show's merits. And believe me, this shouldn't take long. The first episode opens with strong female antagonists challenging
Okay, to be fair, Trinity, I never remember the actor's name to this. She would make a great Jedi, and she looks like she does fight scenes really well. It's really unfortunate she's in a crap series, though, because she would make an interesting Jedi Master in a different series, because she looks like she really falls into the role.
strong female Jedi to a fight in a bar.
Attack me with all your strength.
Oh my god. See, this is what I hate about some of these shows, and I'm gonna get shit for pausing a lot. Why isn't there just a show about Jedi Trinity looking cool and being awesome of an experienced actor, you know, doing a good job acting? Why is there always some 16-year-old nobody that can't act for shit ruining these shows? Because even what I've seen of them, they look like they are so cringe acting.
And I must admit, it was nice to see Carrie-Anne Moss back in action and, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Carrie-Anne Moss, there we go, her name. And yeah, she dies! She's like, what the fuck?
It's interesting that characters can survive.
Well, the thing is, you have to break it down to the reason. They want to appeal to children. If you're going to say something about their people of color or something like that, but the real problem, it has teen comedy bullshit, you know, like Riverdale crap, where they bring in all these young kids that don't know what they're doing that is semi-attractive and fits their boxes, and it's trash, instead of having older 40-year-old actors that actually know what they're doing. It's a pain in the ass, but it's really, they want to have appeal to teenagers.
Lightsaber injuries like this, but a small throwing knife to the chest is enough to take them down and end their lives. Bullshit! Shows
Yeah,
how much I know about
Bullshit. That's why I just have watched a lot of these shows where teen actors completely ruin the show, so... Well, I would have to say, my bold statement, the lesbians aren't the problem with this show. Lesbian cults have never made anything worse, but I'm biased. I like a good lesbian cult. They're fun. But I think it's the problem. It's trash. That's the thing. Some ideas aren't bad. Everything around it is garbage.
But human anatomy, I guess. Flash over to the other side of the galaxy and we're introduced to strong female character number 1. Strong female character.
And as he points out with the multiple strong female character, there's no variety. That's why it's boring. If you just had your strong female character Jedi with cool moves, being a master or something, would you give a shit? No, it's just that everyone is the same cut and paste of the same person.
Character number 1 is a plucky young woman with a knack for technology who's also strong with the Force. Where have I seen this before? Anyway,
yeah. Every fucking main character in Star Wars, why are they all carbon copies of Luke? Like, every time. It's like, they don't have to be good at everything, because Anakin was the same. Really good at science. Really good at everything. And then they copy-paste. And fine, he's related to Luke, but every main character did not have to be exactly like Anakin and Luke.
She works as a mechanic, mechanic.
Are you serious?
On the outer hulls of space freighters, doing the usual stuff like repairing power couplings and putting out fires? Sure, yeah, okay. I guess fire in the Acolyte doesn't need oxygen like in other shows, but
Science ran away from this. No more science allowed.
because it no longer has the patriarchy holding it back. You go, girl fire! Things are going great for her until she gets arrested by dumb male character and strong female character number 2 for the murder of strong female Jedi. See, it turns out that strong female character number 1 and strong female antagonist are actually twin sisters, and so naturally people mix them up after the murder of strong female Jedi. And what is all of this based on, you might ask? Why, the eyewitness testimony of the bartender where strong female Jedi got killed. Not DNA samples, which actually would have made more sense since they're twins, not hologram recordings or security footage, just a guy who saw a young woman kill strong female Jedi.
Yeah, I do find that funny, seeing we do get holograms everywhere else. Like, even Anakin was hologrammed, like, pledging allegiance to the Sith, pretty much, in nothing but a bartender.
Now, you probably don't need me to tell you that eyewitness testimonies can be notoriously inaccurate, especially in highly stressful situations where our brains release all kinds of chemicals and stimulants to try to keep us alive. Chemicals which often cloud our judgment and blur our memory, making us not particularly reliable when it comes to accurate recollection of people and events. I mean, given that he's an alien, I'd have to assume as well that his description of the suspect would probably have boiled down to a young black human female with her hair in braids. Now, in a galaxy composed of thousands...
That's the thing, their haircut is slightly different, I guess, slightly, one's long, one's short, but yeah, that's the thing, I don't have a problem with Luke or Anakin, it's like, it's just like, yeah, I am strong female character Erundel here to save the day. No, but the thing is, the problem is when they're all exactly the same, because there are so many different kinds of stories to be told, but I think it's because they're trying to do like, oh, here's another chosen one bullshit. You can't have everyone being a chosen one. It gets out of control.
Thousands of colonized planets, there'd have to be literally billions of people who fit that description. Yet apparently this was enough to bring them straight to strong female character number 1. Like, how? Also, you might assume...
I really hate the aliens in a lot of the Disney shows. They look so fake. It's unfortunate, but yes, they look pretty fake.
That being on the other side of the galaxy at the time of the murder, with multiple witnesses to prove you were there and no means of travelling to and from the site of the killing, would be a pretty strong alibi, but not according to dumb male character at least. Oh yeah, and in case you were wondering what his role in the story is, it's to be consistently wrong about everything to make the various strong female characters look better by comparison. Anyway, they decide to ship strong...
I also hate this. This is why I really like the show Van Helsing, but this was the problem I had with it too. You have your strong female characters in there, but they're not strong by being strong. They are strong by everyone else being 10 times more shit than them. And I really dislike it because even these people that are trying to say, oh, this is a move to show women are strong, they can't actually just make them strong. Why Charlie's Angels, the originals, are good. All the people around them, guys and otherwise, are competent. They're very competent. The girls are just better. They're just trained spies. And I wish they just took that same energy and did it in other movies and stuff. But that was the problem. They actually had varying personalities. When the makeup artist was better in 1970s, preach.
Female character number 1 back to Coruscant to answer for her crimes. Now you might think it would make sense to just take her back on their own ship, because why wouldn't you do that, right? You're there with her already, and there's 2 of you, so you could keep an eye on her and make sure that she doesn't try to escape. Because if she really is responsible for killing a Jedi, despite all the evidence pointing against it, then clearly she's smart, resourceful, and powerful. You don't want to take any chances with this one, lads. Or you could put her on a regular old prison transport with minimal security and just assume that everything's gonna work out fine. And wouldn't you know it?
Everything's gonna be fine. Okay, well that's the thing. Okay, it's not even just the whole they write him like a boy or write him like a guy, because some women act a bit masculine for sure, but I would say it's really obvious, especially in the Van Helsing show I watched, that when they do that so extreme, because the way men and women do express emotion is different. So when someone's just screaming or getting pissed off angrily, you can really tell they don't understand how women process feelings. Because that's what I really liked about when I was watching House of the Dragon. They really showed the differences on how everyone processed grief for men and women, and I like that a lot. And I really feel like a lot of people who write these characters don't understand the differences at all. It says, before writing a strong female character, just write a good character. Exactly, that is the problem. The biggest crux here is they're not writing good characters, but I would also say they don't actually want to write female characters. So all you get is a woman that is like a guy, pretty much, because you can have masculine traits in a woman, but it has to be interesting and it has to feel real.
But within about 2 minutes, the other convicts stage a prison break, overpower the one and only
That cult thing is for Cult of the Lamb. Oh, thanks to the follow, Contra. Welcome in.
guard droid on board and leave her alone to crash land on the planet. Which she survives because an uncontrolled crash from orbital velocity is definitely the sort of thing you can walk away from. Anyway, back on Coruscant, we're introduced to Squid Game Guy, who receives word from strong female character number 3 that strong female character number 1's ship has crashed. They know this because they picked up the escaped prisoners from the escape pod, but they haven't gotten around to investigating the crash site yet, and are thinking about sending out probe droids
Yeah, sorry, I gave up there. It's because I feel like it's like Barramundi, but Contramundi or something. I don't know. This Roland, he's still the best character and actor. That's what I hate, is like, I loved him in Squid Games. I bet he actually does okay in this, and somehow he's just pushed the fuck aside and does nothing. But again, how you know they really don't want to write this is because when all the women are exactly the same. They could not think of anything else that is interesting. It's kind of sad.
take a quick look. Okay, back up a second because I really want to go over this one. If you recovered these prisoners from the escape pod and brought them all the way back to Coruscant, that must mean that you already had at least one Republic ship in orbit around the planet to recover the escape pod in the first place. So you're telling me that instead of investigating the crash site for survivors, which would have been on the planet directly below, you instead brought the prisoners all the way back to Republic headquarters and then asked for instructions? So, like, are you retarded or what? Also, if strong female character number 3 looks
Oh my god, tropical for the reference. Yeah, thanks for understanding, homie. I don't speak English the best either, and that is my main language. Sorry.
familiar to you, you might recognize her as showrunner Leslie Headland's wife. I'm sure that had absolutely nothing to do with her casting in this show, just like James Gunn doesn't let family connections influence his casting choices either.
Nepos are always bad, unless they're already talented. But yeah, Nepo, stop the Nepo hires! Stop them today!
Anyway, Squid Game Guy decides that he wants to take a look at the site for himself, because strong female character number 1 was his Padawan once upon a time. So he rounds up dumb male character and strong female character number 2 and heads off to the crash site to investigate, and almost immediately runs into her after ripping off a scene from The Fugitive. Then he explains that strong female antagonist is definitely dead because he saw her die in a fire when she was a kid, so strong female character number 1 is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime. But then strong female character number 1 is like, I didn't do it, trust me bro. And he's like, well, I'm convinced.
Trust me, bro. I barely speak American. Is it different? Twilix? Yes. In Australia, that's translated, I only speak cunt. That's how you say it in my language.
Fuck me, you're easy to win over, aren't you? It's good to see that a Jedi Knight won't listen to evidence, logic, or reason, but a single unverified claim by a woman with absolutely no reason to be truthful is enough to totally change his perspective. Like, I'm very much in the camp that rational evidence would be enough to exonerate.
Weird nitpick, but I always have with some of these TV shows, especially TV shows today. They all look too clean. All their costumes look like costumes and don't look lived in at all. Because when you actually watch the prequels, they actually look like they run around in those clothes. And it's a weird thing to pick at, but it makes it feel so fake.
Her in this case, but if you're not even willing to listen to that and are still convinced that her twin sister died because you apparently saw it happen, then what other conclusion can you draw here? You know, here's a crazy idea. How about you do that forced mind reading thing that you did earlier with one of the escaped prisoners? That would clear up everything pretty quickly. Either she would open her mind to you and you'd be able to tell if she was innocent or guilty, or if she tried to block you, it would be a pretty strong indication that she was trying to cover up her own guilt. But nah, one quick conversation's enough to change his mind, I guess. Meanwhile, strong female antagonist goes for a walk on a beach and meets up with Discount Venom, who delivers what may be one of the most nonsensical monologues in the entire show.
Steel or laser are no threat to them.
She literally did
Steel or laser. I like how the rip-off Vader voice pack, Like, Darth Maul was cool. He did not need to be a rip-off Vader. Why do they keep trying to rip off Vader?
Kill a Jedi with a fucking blade less than 30 minutes ago. Like, do these people even read their own scripts? Do they even think about what they're writing?
Yeah, that little knife was bullshit.
Then he ignites a red lightsaber for no other reason than because they want you to know that he's a Sith, and that's it. That's episode 1 over.
Oh my god.
What a completely retarded mess this show is. It's built around literally the simplest by-the-numbers murder mystery plot, complete with twin sister femme fatale tropes and everything, and somehow still finds a way to fuck it up. And it's all held together by insane coincidences, ridiculous contrivances, and decisions that run contrary to logic and common sense. Andor showed us how a murder investigation can be conducted in a smart, gripping, tension-building way, with a combination of deductive logic, interesting character moments, and explosive bursts of gritty action. You get the feeling they were trying real hard to emulate that tone and feel in this show. The only things they're missing are brains, creativity, imagination, and writing skill. And that's not the only problems at play here either. The acting is terrible, the fight...
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like... What's the movie I'm thinking of? It's the only, like, new movie I liked. Rogue One. I actually liked Rogue One, and I haven't watched Andor, but I heard good things. But it's the same thing. They connected nothing with everything else and didn't try to be bigger than what they were, so they were interesting. But yeah, I agree. I stopped watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies because, yeah, they felt like set pieces half the time.
Choreography is weak, nobody looks like they actually want to be here, and the pacing is god-awful. The episode could probably have been wrapped up in under 20 minutes without all the pointless time-wasting travel backwards and forwards and redundant conversations telling us stuff we just saw happen. We're only 1 episode in so far, and I can already see how they're having to stretch the paper-thin plot to try to spin it out into 8 episodes. This show might aspire to be something like Andor, but it's more like Book of Boba Fett. And believe me...
Okay, am I crazy? But those lightsabers look fake as fuck.
It only gets worse with episode 2, but I'm gonna have to cover that in a separate video because I don't think my mind or my liver can handle too much of this stuff all at once. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Go away now.
Another day.
Oh my god, just go away now. Yeah, it looks very, not even mid, but to be fair, they like hit something good with The Mandalorian and it's like, and then have been making trash ever since. I swear. Like, even Obi-Wan was honestly the biggest disappointment of my life. And it's freaking Obi-Wan! But you can put a link in the Discord. I take the requests in there so it can also be checked what it's going to be so I don't accidentally look up something crazy. So, actually, it's in Discord. Boba Fett, I felt like just... The set pieces were, like, very cheap. The plot was very... a bit too boring. It could have been good. But also they were completely obsessed with showing Boba Fett's real face all the time. And I felt like they completely missed the part of what was interesting about Boba Fett, you know? It's like... And I'm not even the biggest Boba Fett fan, so they had no fucking chance, honestly, because Boba Fett... yeah, Xstation Discord. One sec. Same with Hayden Christensen. Honestly, the only thing that saves it for me is we get to see them again, but also they were actually able to see that come back to people actually loving their characters. Because I think we all forget how much shit they got for the prequels, because a lot of us wasn't alive. But people acted like they fucking despised them when those movies came back. Because I remember watching the interviews for Obi-Wan, and that's why I give it shit that it was kind of a letdown, but I will never rag on it completely. At least we got some of the guys back. But they were actually so surprised people were keen to see them again. And in interviews they said, the last time I was at events like this, people hated us. And they've actually started doing more like fan things because of it. So you can at least say that's good that they're back in the Star Wars, like, so fans can actually see them. So that's something positive that did come from that, I guess. Because I guess everyone didn't really know, like, because especially if you were raised on those movies, I loved them as a kid, always did. But, like, a lot of Star Wars fans hate them. I don't think so. I think if you were a kid when you watched the prequels, you loved them. I remember watching a doco on it. Kids loved the prequels. Clone War fans from the original 3 hated the prequels. So now all the kids that liked the original prequels, the prequels, are adults now. And that's why you get so much more love for them now too. I definitely think Clone Wars fleshed it out for sure and made old school ones like it. But hate it or not, I actually like prequels plot more than the original 3. I watch prequels than original 3. I like them, but I like the original. I like the prequels. They're my originals, so I like the prequels. I like Anakin. They are huge. Be more hated. I do think that definitely bring them around. But I do think the kids that loved the prequels, because for them, they did. I had never watched a Star Wars when I watched the prequels as a kid. I did not know they were prequels. 1, 2, and 3. Like, I had no idea.